Hello everyone and happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's having a great day. This week I decided I was going to talk about quarter-inch feet and the difference. And what brought this up was in the group someone was saying that she changed machines and her quarter-inch was different and all of her piecing was off between the two machines. That happens a lot because you could be using a different size needle, different size thread, a different foot. But if your machines are set to a true quarter-inch using same size needles, same size thread, there should be absolutely no difference in your piecing. But I know this can be difficult. I spent months taking mine back and forth to the dealer to get them to adjust everything. And all of my machines are adjusted by the technician to my preferred quarter-inch. And I have 3 different brands of machines. I have a Janome, a Bernina, and a Pfaff. But what I'm going to show you is the difference between them and some pros and cons of each. The Janome, many people love Janome, and one of the great things about Janome is it comes with a lot of feet. This is the standard O foot, as I can show you. It has a guide, but the issue I have with the Janome is you sew with your zigzag plate or your multi-stitch plate, and it moves the needle to the right to create the quarter-inch. And this was one of the machines I had the hardest time getting the perfect quarter-inch, because when it would move over, it wouldn't be exactly in position. But a lot of people like that. The other issue I had was Janome, when I'm embroidering on it, says the best needle position for the best stitch quality is to the far left of center, and that's where it puts the needle during embroidery, but then it's supposed to be making perfect stitches, which it does really, really well, don't get me wrong, to the far right, which seems that would not be the perfect place. Seems to me the perfect place would be in the middle with the straight stitch plate. Okay. But this is the O foot. This came standard with my Janome. It has a guide, and with some adjustment, I got it to be perfect. It took like 3 or 4 times. Then you have the Accufeed walking foot. And Janome is famous for their Accufeed. I have the Accufeed Flex, and this plugs into your machine and it gives you basically a walking foot. It does like this, if you can see it. And it comes, the Accufeed came with my machine, and it also came with the quarter-inch foot for the Accufeed. And I understand why they're doing it, because Janome has very large feed dogs. And by moving it to the right, your fabric is always connected to the feed dogs. And I understand it, I just don't agree with it 100%. But it's a beautiful machine, and it sews wonderfully. It's just not my favorite. But this is the Accufeed guide foot, where it has basically a walking foot with a quarter-inch guide on the side. And see, it's not actually all the way on the side. It's right in the middle of this footpath, which could have issues as well. But this is my favorite foot on the Janome for piecing. This is called the Clearview Quilting Foot with Guide. And I love all the red markings, and see you have your quarter-inch, 1/8 of an inch, to and from the needle, behind the needle. On each side of the needle, you have everything. But it comes with these guides, which is really cool, which this is not the 1/4 inch. This is the Stitch in the Ditch guide right here. It comes with the Stitch and Ditch. This is the 1/4 inch guide. And what you do is you unscrew this little screw right here and you slide this here we go, there it goes, and then you tighten the screw down, and then you have a 1/4 inch width guide, which is really nice. But sometimes you don't want a guide, you just want to sew along the edge of your foot, like when you're doing diamonds or triangles or hexagons. Hexagons is a big one. So you have the choice of taking the guide on or off, which is I like. And then it also has the Stitch in the Ditch version that puts it in the middle of this for your quilting. And I'm going to save the Bernina to last because that's the one I use the most. But my favorite machine, and I would love to have these feet on my Bernina or my Janome. These are the quilting feet. I have one with guide and one without. This is the metal one without guide. Uses the straight stitch needle plate, as you can see. And you have one mark, a 1/4 inch in front of the needle. You have the needle marked in red right here, right here. Here's a 1/4 inch in front at the needle, and then on top here you have a 1/4 inch in the back. And what this allows you to do is, like when you're sewing with hexagons or diamonds, because you don't want stitching in your seam allowance, this allows you to move in to a 1/4 inch within your seam and then stop shy of a 1/4 inch from finishing to the end. So you have the perfect seam. And all my machines have what they call programmable quilting. So once you do one, you can set it and it will stitch the exact same number every time of stitches, which is great. All three of the machines do this, which I love. This is the clear one with guide, which I absolutely love. I would love this foot with or without the guide on my Bernina. And it would be perfect. Again, straight stitch needle plate. Again, markings before, at, and after. And it has your edge for your guide. Fantastic. This is almost the perfect quilting foot right here. Almost. And Pfaff has dual feed. That's why you have this cutout back here and here. You see the dual feed cutouts. Because Pfaff has IDT, which is the original version of dual feed. And it is magnificent. What makes Pfaff a Pfaff is the IDT. Janome doesn't have that. I have two Berninas. Both are 9mm. I used to have a 5.5, a 165. So I have quite a few Bernina feet. And what we're going to talk about first is if the foot does not have one of these little nubby crystal things on it, it is a 5.5mm, but all these are straight stitch. This is my 97 foot for my 9mm non-dual feed. Hold on. And it doesn't have the crystal, but it is specifically designed, and I'll explain why. I'm looking for one here. Here it is. the 57 foot. This was with my old 165. 1/4 inch. See how narrow that foot is? And it sets everything on the feed dogs, and this flange was at a 1/4 inch. There's a 37 foot, which is this exact same foot without this guide on the side. So Bernina has lots of different feet, but this is the 57. Wonderful, wonderful foot. I loved it on my 165, and I miss my 165 with the small feed dogs and the 5.5 millimeter. But I have 9 millimeter now. So now we're going to go back to the 97 foot. The 97 foot works with your 9 millimeter only machines. This is without dual feed. This one is with dual feed. You'll notice the horseshoe, and there's a cutout in the back. But how these feet are actually absolutely identical except for the dual feed option. It comes with the guide that you screw onto the bed of your machine, and it fits up to this edge to give you your perfect 1/4 inch. And how this foot works, this is a 1/4 inch along this edge. This is an 1/8 inch along this edge, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. I mean, this is 1/4 inch inside, 1/8 inch at the marking. But what I don't like is the little bitty tabs here. If you look really closely, you can see them in the video, but they're really hard to see when you're sewing. 1/4 inch before needle, 1/4 inch after. They're very hard to see, which I go back to the Pfaff. They're so wonderful and visible and bright and easy. But this has the dual feed where it fits into the back. And this is this is what I use piecing 99% of the time. I love this foot. And you see this one has a crystal, which says it's for the 9 millimeter. This one does not. That's the one with the guide. This one does not. But it only works with the needle in the center position, both of these feet. Well, all of these feet. This would work on a 9 millimeter. It would just be off the feed dogs a little bit. That is also the beauty of Bernina. All feet are forward compatible. So if you have older feet, they will work on your newer machine. Like I said, because what happens is with this foot, this 1/4 inch is right down the center of your outside feed dog. And there's a line down the middle that you can see. And Berninas are really well marked. And I like them because I can see better and be more accurate with my Bernina. But a friend of mine was telling me that she uses her walking foot. I was like, wow, that would be cool. The Bernina walking foot, which does not have a straight stitch. I don't have a straight stitch plate for it. But what she was telling me is that you have this 5.5 millimeter in here, and this is the new Bernina one that works with all the modern machines, walking foot. It's only 5.5 millimeter. And and if you see in here, you can see your 1/4 inch and your 1/8 inches and all that marked down here and in here. This mark is a 1/4 inch. The edge here is an 1/8 inch. And it has the markings on the side for needle position and in front of the needle and all those kind of things, like everyone. But what she was telling me is if I set my Bernina to needle stitch position 5, this edge will become your 1/4 inch. And I'm like, that's a really cool thing to know. So you can use it. You just have to move your needle and use your zigzag plate to position 5, and then you have a 1/4 inch lined up with the edge, but it also allows you to use all of your feed dogs, which would be great if you're working with diamonds, half square triangles, 1/4 square triangles where there's a lot of bias edges. Hexagons, octagons, anything with bias edges. Man, that's nice to know. But that is a brief overview, and whatever machine you have, they have a 1/4 inch foot. And you should make sure with your tech that it's accurate. And like I said, my favorite is this Pfaff clear one with guide. Absolutely love that foot. But I ended up piecing more on my Bernina because I can see better. And that's how I choose mine. Janome, beautiful stitches. Bernina, the best visibility of all my machines. Great feet, but they're expensive, these feet. And Bernina has a foot for everything. So don't. And then Pfaff, I loved my Pfaff. I don't think I could ever give my Pfaff up. So I will always have a Pfaff because there are specific things that a Pfaff does that no other machine, and I just love it. But I love the old world, and it doesn't change much over time. And someday I hope my vision gets a little bit better where I can go back to really, really piecing with my Pfaff. But then I have Bernina, so I mean, I have a rough choice of life. A Janome 12,000, I have a Pfaff Creative Sensation, and a Bernina Artista 200, and a Bernina 590. I really have a rough choice of which machine to use. So, I hope this helps you understand your 1/4 inch feet and gives you a little overview. And let me tell you, it took me a while, but all of these feet, except for this one, I know for sure, except for the walking foot, I know for sure, are absolutely 100% perfectly accurate to 1/4 inch. Took a lot of work, but I got it done. And so everyone have a great week. I hope this helps you understand, and we will be working on some other videos as we go. Everyone have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.